you can then invest in whether military or tech. So don't think of it so much as an economic technology. Think of it as a military or a tech technology.
他的阿尔泰的3也太高了吧
？Food sources that he's got, those foodstuffs, into men at arms, into spears with the phalanx upgrade. There's a lot of great ways that he can look to spend that.
As you all know, also a balance change very recently for Chinese. Now the Imperial officials collecting double the gold, carrying double the gold, and that's why we see such an early second Imperial official is going to supervise, is getting quite some reasonable gold for himself. The question is how many corners does he want to cut? It feels like Beastyqt of the Sun very likely, and Mista, no big surprise, goes onto stone. Still, not sitting still.
You can see he's so restless over there, trying his best. It's been about 6 or 7 seconds, a little bit of an esports eye wink there. But no, doesn't look like at this stage Beastyqt going for any forward Beastyqt shenanigans. Something that we do see out of China, at least becoming more and more prevalent, is that forward Beastyqt. So we'll ride on board with Beastyqt for a bit. We'll take a look at his POV and see what he goes online with, because there could potentially be a Beastyqt. There could potentially be an Imperial Academy that gets dropped down shortly.
If you're expecting your opponent to go 2, maybe even 3 TCs, the Imperial Academy might actually make more sense, right? You can get a bit more gold. Now a new feature, you can also drop off gold at the Imperial Academy.
Yeah, a really great update for China. It means that they've got a little bit less walking distance on their Imperial officials, makes them a bit more useful. And for the Imperial official, that's great, because compared to things like the Prelate, the Imperial official, it's a hard sell for me. But already we can see that pretty decent opening so far from Beastyqt here. And it looks like he's going to be going for the Beastyqt, but it is nice and safe back at his base. And take a look at the walls that we've got coming up here for Beastyqt. Up towards the north, walling in this. This is interesting, because we've got fresh foodstuffs going down. We've got stone mining happening. There's not much to indicate that there's aggression coming out here.
Yeah, absolutely. Will be the slow play. Beastyqt also only by 2.
OK, Beastyqt 也开始挖石头。
Slow play. We already saw a game, 3 town centers against 3 town centers. First military unit when both players had 70 villagers. Not totally.
但是中国只需要开到2 TC 就好了，他送草很快啊。
Yeah, I would expect that we aren't going to see, that we will see probably something very similar here. No real aggression. Obviously, Beastyqt putting walls down as well up towards the north. To me, signals he doesn't want to get in too many fights. And obviously the Beastyqt at home as well. He wants to play this safe. Keep in mind, this is the 5th game. This is essentially, at this point, a best of 1. China versus Abbas. Who is going to come out on top? Beastyqt with plenty of villagers on stone. So highly likely we see a second town center from him, and then potentially even a Song dynasty. But now that second town center going to be coming out from Mista here. And you can tell he's looking for a very sharp castle age timing here. Potentially look for that 9-minute, maybe 9-minute 30 castle age, straight into men at arms, straight into spearmen, and a hell of a lot of mangonels.
Pulled all villagers away from stone, and certainly indicating in that direction. Now a question. Obviously, very one-dimensional push through the center. Therefore, mobility not important. Therefore, siege being a great choice. What civilization do you prefer? Abbasid, who can build siege on the field, can just get out the numbers very quickly, or Chinese with all the advantages with the clockwork tower?
Abbasid, definitely. Abbasid always just going to be able to outnumber it.
弄起来啊，弄起来啊。
A little bit more units to do it, but the fact that
城堡时代阿拔斯强啊，
bypasses so many mechanics.
帝王就中国。
So typically a civilization, when they get up to that castle age, they're going to need time to put down that siege workshop. Now China doesn't have to do that. They've got the astronomical clock tower. But then you've got to spend all that time training that unit, which is going to take you 30 seconds, 35, 40 seconds. And then on top of that, you've then got to walk that unit from your building to the front line of the battle. The Abbasid completely bypassed 3 of those mechanics. They don't have to make a siege workshop, they don't have to train the unit, and they don't have to walk it, because they build it on the front line. And that's what makes this technology so strong, and I wouldn't be surprised if we actually see it nerfed significantly in the coming patches, just due to how strong it is.
Okay, wild predictions there, and quite some saying deaths. Maybe something to look out for. Now we have the blacksmith as well for Mista. Quite at a weird timing, I have to say. He's not really looking to go for any military very soon.
Yeah, this is a weird timing. He could be looking for a +2 timing push here. So instead of researching +1 as soon as he gets up to the castle age or in transition, he's researching it before he even goes up, so that by the time he gets up...
trying to wall this one in.
Oh, so cheeky coming out from Mista. He is just stopping Beastyqt in his tracks, doing a great job and looking to actually take out that villager. We could see that Beasty's having a great time over here.
Just tries to squeeze through. He could have just ran home and sent a second villager. What is this one? Is Mista just letting him?
It looks like he's going to be able to get it up. I think there still might be a bit of a hole in that wall there. But villager going to be coming back. I think he's just moved it onto the wall, but now going to be going down. I'd be curious to see whether he can actually get that through the wall. But we'll have to come back.
I now need to work together with the observer. Let's please go to the right-hand side wall that we just saw, and let's go to the cliff.
这打法很不 Beasty 吗？你说上幕墙很不 Beasty， 还是说上幕墙开围 Beasty 蛮会围的？
We could just rotate around. Yeah, right there. Yeah.
That could be sneaky.
Bit of a zoom as well, I reckon. All right, Twitch chat, can you get through? Yes or no? What is the verdict? Yes or no? You're going to be able to get through that. Twitch chat knows everything, so they'll tell us.
Okay, I would think yes.
I would think yes as well.
It's tricky.
Jordan in the chat says no.
Okay.
And you know he's a very prominent Age of Empires 4 player.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for your input.
他那个悬崖过得来吗？看起来是可以哈，宋朝了。
Mista now heading up to that castle age. The first barracks going to be coming down. No real surprise there. I'd love to take a look. Actually, you know what? I don't even have to take a look. We can see from his upgrades up the top of the UI that there's no +1 coming in on the way just yet.
Wheelbarrow though for Beastyqt, and as you can see, he takes it a bit slower.
Beasty 是宋朝双 TC 哦，哦哟。
And nice positioning with the deer, nice kills. Now finished that wall.
Beasty 是宋朝双 TC， 哎呦。
We certainly see that he's aiming to have the full map walled before the man-at-arms can arrive.
Yeah,
okay.
I love seeing this.
开围了。
One of the things that we've seen with Mista throughout the day is this concept of the no wall challenge. He just doesn't like making walls, so he doesn't make them. Beasty, he's doing the walling challenge. He just wants to wall everything.
Yeah, and as we mentioned earlier, right? Chinese, if we go to the super late game, if Chinese gets their ideal army composition, unstoppable.
Yeah, really difficult to deal with. You've got those bombards with the extra range. You've got the nest of bees that are in lower numbers, not very strong.
现在阿拔斯装甲步兵要骑过来了。
But Mista now going to be reaching up to that castle age. Beasty's still stuck in age 2. We'll take a look at his base and see whether we've got any landmarks coming up. I can see that there's 2 in the base, but it's just going to be that Imperial Academy as well as the Barbican. Third landmark is going up right underneath the town center, so that's where all those resources have gone. He's looking to match this age up from his opponent, but keep in mind, he's on 2 TCs plus the Song Dynasty, so essentially 3 TCs, but that's going to be so many more food resources that he's putting into those villages.
Especially compared to another player that builds them for half the price. So, yeah, you might have better numbers, but the food that you have to invest to get all those villages on the map is higher. And villagers are coming over. What's their plan? Oh, over chopping probably.
Yeah, they're going to be chopping around. He's such a smart, great pickup there.
然后伐木挖砖了。
Going to be coming out. And this is just part of, I guess, the ever-evolving meta. Now, keep in mind, at the start of this tournament, before it even got underway in the final stage here, players actually sat around and had a meeting and said, "Do we want to allow chopping through walls?" And they went with yes.
挖木喽，挖木喽，挖木喽。
If he sees it, I think there's an easy way to get the second layer. And
look
at that, Beastyqt knows.
He immediately starts moving up towards his position. Crossbows in queue. He needs to get behind those walls because those crossbows, they're going to be doing a lot of damage from behind. And we can see that he's actually empowering one of his archery ranges. He's going to be having so many crossbows coming out. And look at all the walls that are coming down along that wood line. You're not getting this one past Beasty.
Oh, that was such a nice reaction. Then the vision for him, so nice. Even more barracks being added. Mista is kind of playing this very aggressively while Beastyqt just chilling it out.
Yeah, at this point in time, we can see a nest of bees actually coming through for Beasty as well. So he's really looking to play behind the walls now. At this point in time, if Beasty survives probably until about the 20th minute, I suspect he
这边要打 all
can
in
win
了
this game very
这边要决战了。
Mista, on the other hand, has got a window here because
你不可能再让中国弄了。
same as his enemy, but he's not in the Song Dynasty.
现在有弩兵出来。
Because he didn't go for a Chinese mirror, the fool.
Indeed, a fool. I think Mista has like multiple options here. Obviously, the one that it looks like just full aggression goes for the man-at-arms with some Springles, easily defended with mass towers, Springle to yourself, as the Chinese other option would be sit back 30C.
箭塔差一点点，
give up a lot of
箭塔差一点点。
Other option, you have so much map control. Go for 3 sacred sites. Go for 4 relics. Put on the pressure another way.
Get some stone walls up, take those sacred sites, have a bit of a party on the sacred sites. But now we start to see.
哦，硬修幕墙啊，硬修。
Now probably going to be putting down a gate on this wall here if he wants to be healing it up even a bit more. Very interesting mechanic here. I've recently.
哇靠，这边硬刚啊！
It's actually just going to repair it back up to.
这边硬刚啊，这边是。
Questionable mechanic for sure, and those man-at-arms now being pushed back. What a nice defense here by Beastyqt.
哇靠，硬刚啊！
Some army, but still looking fine. And as we mentioned multiple times,
村民不要了，修墙不要了。
Before we reach the 30-minute mark.
哇操！ We can see that at the moment Beasty continuing to climb with villager count. He's up to 69 villagers at this point. 66 for the Mista.
现在投石车在升。
Also on Beastyqt's side, as we mentioned earlier, wheelbarrow would upgrade so much going for him. Still the big thing though, we have so much map control for the Abyssite. I think I would like to see the pickup of the relics, maybe put on some pressure in that regard, that okay, yeah, you have the better units, but I will have so much more income than you.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. There's a lot of different ways that you can do this.
猎 H 城，猎 H 城，哦，猎日瓮城。哦，那个日看起来看不到啊，我看成猎 H 城，什么色的东西。
Really utilize it as much as possible, but Mista here just going to be playing it safe, not really doing too much of anything. We don't see anything in production for him at the moment.
Oh
just chilling
my
out,
god!
having a good time.
Palace switch now for Beastyqt is adding
这一盘目前村民数差不多，但是 Beastyqt 的科技经济先点 ，Mista 追一个。
You only spawn with 2 woodlines on our time, and Beastyqt, he's heavily on the one further in the back. This one, not really up for grabs right now.
Yeah, so it's a great point to mention. And as the game continues on, it's going to be a continual struggle. We can see that some wood lines have spawned towards the middle, so we could even see players look to come up and try and pinch the wood line of their enemy. But when it comes to this map, typically that's what players are going to be fighting over. It's those wood lines as the game moves on. But now we see a Springald coming out on this eastern flank. Going to be looking to take out a few villagers old-fashioned way.
现在 Mista 想要控住第2块木啊。 想要控第2块木啊
You feel like okay, Mista is trying to do some damage and he isn't really succeeding.
Yeah.
But still, look at villager count. He's totally fine to go into the late game when it comes to economy.
Yeah, and keep in mind every 50 food that Beasty spends on a villager, Mista only spends 25. So he spends those 25 resources somewhere else. So whether that's other units that he makes, whether he looks to go up to the next stage. Always going to be an option for him.
这一盘 Mista 没在乱打哦 ，Mista 没在乱打哦。虽然他好像看起来乱打，可是他赢2盘哦。哦吼！这一波很大一波 ，Mista 很大一波 ，Mista 想要走上面。
And look at that, Mista. Loops around, now has another mangonel there, but this is an easy spot to rewall.
Yeah, what's he got going on in his mind? He's coming around from that position. Probably doesn't like the fact that the Barbican's there. It's probably quite easy to hold. Knows that there's food sources over towards this eastern side. Obviously, we saw the deer, we saw the berries as well. So looking to try and force
正门出冲车，上路。
Not bringing a siege though, right? Has the siege in the center, very unprotected. If we saw a horseman switch, he could lose all his Springle mass. Beastyqt only Palace Guard though. Would be surprised if he's trying to chase this one down. More likely that he's trying to defend to the right against the right-hand side, which might find some kills. Actually goes back again. What?
Yeah, so you can see that he's really just forcing him off that food source. So both the berries as well as the deer getting isolated here. At the same time, we've got stone being mined down towards the south position. He's really putting him into the corner.
Mista soon pop limit actually, right? He goes for such a big army, keeps everything rolling for himself, and now the big problem, look at that, food income. Only at 1k for Beastyqt. He was at 1.3k a bit earlier, and now drops below.
现在 Beasty 没有地图控制，他什么时候才能出来呢？92村 ，Mista 有88。
He's really putting him in a tough position here. Beasty, I'm trying to think of what his next play is because he's going to be eating through his wood line.
Mista 会不会太猛了
？Because he's not able to take the deers, not able to take the berries, and that's really what he doesn't want at this point. Because every single bit of wood that he puts into those farms, his enemy is spending on mangonels, on springles, and we can see that mass really starting to build now for him.
Still, big question for me: shouldn't we go imp here if we are the Mista? Like, we're close to pop 200. It's not guaranteed that we find some damage here. It's still the Barbican, as you mentioned. You know that your opponent has a good defense. It just feels like some greater siege could be better in this spot.
To an extent, yes, but at the same time, you still feel that you're on a timer because.
哦，这边弩炮出来咯。
It's kind of like playing up against the rules.
但是 Mista 这里弩炮更多。
Going to lose by default, and China is definitely that way as well. So Mista ideally wants to avoid taking it late game if he can. Still yet to find too much damage though.
And that could even be the 5th relic.
200 P 了。
I always said 4 relics for the Mista, but is denying that area now. Not really thinking about that for now though. Pop 160 for Beastyqt, far away from imping. Mista reaches pop limit in Castle Age. Massive flock of Springles.
Yeah, this is a huge amount of Springles that he's got here now.
想要开打了。
The Springles from Beasty, they're going to be tankier. They've got an extra bit of HP. But at the end of the day, if you've got double or triple the amount of Springles, what does it even matter? But now we see him pushing in so many men-at-arms here. 60 men-at-arms. These guys have got their swords out, their scimitars out. They're looking for trouble. But we can see those Springles now beginning to
Mista 直接开进来，
Springles on the back line.
弩炮兑换。
Mangonels continue to move in. Beautiful shots right now. The Mangonels landing a wonderful shot on those crossbows, and that's good game. All the crossbows.
哇 ，GG。
Oh god, such a nice move.
弩兵全死，你们有看到吗？弩兵全死。Mista 要嗨起来了 ，Mista 要跳起来了。
There's so many units in the base right now of BC. This could be a good game. Keep in mind the score is right now 2-2. The winner of this will go on to be 3-1 in their series and be in prime position to head through to those semi-finals that we talked about earlier. N4C is looking incredibly strong, and Beasty in particular is in trouble. He's going for a castle right now, trying to put this on the back line. Not having a lot of luck here. You can see the population difference between these two players. 109 versus 141.
But big raid at the other side apparently, because we're down to 68 villagers. Not really sure what's happening here. Oh yeah, the counter-attack was happening. That's why the numbers weren't that high. Actually, Mista's down to pop 106.
Mista 家里被砍。
A lot of kills, but economy-wise, Beastyqt is heavily ahead. If Beastyqt stabilizes, he's in the better position.
He's in a great spot right now, with the exception of the fact.
Beasty 杀到 Mista 剩下59村，偷偷来。
Population versus 60 over for the Mista. He's looking absolutely insane, but the question's going to be whether he can actually find a finishing blow here.
This game is far from over. Honestly, like, villagers are dying here. Beastyqt might be in the better position. Yeah, massive amount of either villagers forced. Yeah, Barbican goes down.
现在 Mista 没有经济哦 ，Mista 没经济，这一波只要守住 ，Beasty 会赢哦。
I think maybe Beastyqt can make the defense happen with the keep here.
47村
It looks like once again the Mista's
46村
No way.
He's taken out the Barbican already. We can see the town center going to be coming down the nest.
现在 Mista all in 了。
Trying to prevent the damage happening. It looks like this main town center is going to be going down. He's still got 2 Imperial Academies and Imperial Palaces here to help out, or rather astronomical clock tower.
Mista 现在 all in 了
A。lot of health on it, and that will be going down very quickly here.
Okay, where do you go now? Rams not really focusing perfectly. Nest of Bees doing quite some damage. Villagers being pulled again. The Rams not focusing
现在要
perfectly.
顶这个天文钟楼。
Another Springle
现在全村上来修，现在剩下34村的是 Mista。
villagers at this point in time. Less than half what his enemy has got.
But Springle getting sniped by the villagers.
Villager pool is absolutely massive here, and look at the nest of bees holding.
Population lead for Beastyqt. It's completely dry at home for Mista. He tries to commit. Rams not really getting damage, and he pulls more villagers. He's completely empty at home.
The villagers coming out to help out with the siege.
现在 Mista 冲了。
Doing insane amounts of work right now. He's got more in the queue as well. He's looking incredibly strong, but those villagers just once again looking to siege.
我的天哪，这到底是什么？
Goodbye, Springled. Rest in peace, sweet prince, and those battering.
现在直接冲这个地标。
On that third landmark that we see on our screens, the Imperial Academy going to be going down. The astronomical clock tower remains. Look at the villagers getting pulled right now, Nilly.
Yeah, but
最后一个地标了，天文钟楼剩下2/3。
Beastyqt, he knows exactly what's up. He knows I need to save this building, and then I go through into the bracket stage. But can he do it? 4 Nest of Beast doing a massive amount of damage. Now make it 5.
These men-at-arms now continuing to round the corner. You can see them starting to focus down on this landmark. I don't think he's going to have enough damage for this. He's down to 55 population.
哇，这边 Mista 打不掉这个地标。
The winner of this game wins the series, and it looks like Mista has done the good old-fashioned.
哇，打不掉。
Handshake. He's adjusted his keyboard, unfortunately, and it looks like that is going to hold.
29村。
GG, I suspect. We're probably going to have a tap out any second because Beastyqt.
哇 ，Beasty。
And Mista is in absolute shambles, ladies and gentlemen.
G to the G, Beastyqt holds that all in and is over the moon happy with his performance.
What a game. I can't believe that.
Oh my God.
So many things going on.